is 6:06 that we call this meeting to order. We will ask that everyone would stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Please be seated. We would like to officially call this meeting, our March meeting, to order. We will do a roll call. Ms. Frankie Jones, Ms. Kim Hetland, Ms. Mimi Martinez, Ms. Tonette Gaines, Mr. Carlos De Leosa.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Colonel Cedric Carrington, Mr. Wanda Colbert, Ms. Janine Corals, Ms. Andrea White, Ms. Fran Tate, Vice Chair Ebony DaCosta. A quorum has been established. At this moment in time, we will give way to public comments. If you do have a public comment, please come to the podium. Where is the podium?
In the back.
Okay. Hold on, before she take the mic, we want to give instructions. Public comment, please state your name, where you live. If you're an East Tampa resident and you have 3 minutes for public comment, we would do that in person and then we will go virtual. Please let the record reflect that Colonel Cedric Carrington is here.
Public comment? Public comment?
Yes. Hello, my name is Ashley. It's loud. Hello, my name is Ashley Morrow, East Tampa resident. I am just sharing a survey. As a millennial and coming into this city, I wanted to jump in and learn as much as I possibly could and be as informed as I possibly could. So I kind of just sat back and listened. And as I got to listening to a bunch of people like myself that wanted to be engaged and find themselves engaged in different boards and committees, we realized it's very separated. And if I was telling somebody to find some information that they have to go to this website, click on this link, go there, show up at this meeting that night. If you don't go to this meeting that night, you're not going to know what happened that night. So we decided, myself and a few other people decided to try to get some people to organize and create some type of communication hub for the city, for the county, a bunch of different efforts that are going on in Tampa that affect our community. And it is called, the website is dashmarketingllc.com/community connection survey. Again, it's dashmarketingllc.com/connection survey. If you do not have something to write that down, if you go to Black Tampa Historians on Instagram, I just posted it. Or if you're on Facebook, go to Black Tampa Historians. I just posted it. Yeah, I think that's my whole message, but I just think there could be better communication. I know a lot of people are here tonight that are probably interested in RFPs, and I feel like there are maybe more people that may be interested in that information as well. And if it was more accessible, and we haven't figured out the vehicle we want to use yet, but we feel like it can be built. So, yeah.
Any further? Hello, Allison Hewitt, East Tampa resident. Want to say I made public comment a couple of weeks ago at the CRA meeting about the performance measures. I had challenges with the performance measures that was submitted for all the CRAs. As far as community engagement, they had submit the meetings on YouTube as well as to upload the agendas. I don't think that is a really good community engagement performance measures for a CRA and encouraged the CRA to send that back. And they are going to have meetings with the CACs about what the performance measure should be. And I ask you to, I did give them alternative examples on what community engagement could be. Also want to stand in support of the 34th Street Housing and Development proposal. As y'all know, I have been very instrumental in proposing the pre-development grant that the CRA passed in 2018. And so I'm very happy that we have a actual proposal in front of you of a legacy property owner to be able to create affordable housing that they've already had for generations, providing affordable housing here in East Tampa. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name's Bobby Creighton. I don't have anything directly related to the business of the agenda tonight, but just wanted to announce that the City of Tampa is currently reviewing its charter, which is its governing document. It dictates the powers of City Council, the role of the City Attorney, the powers of the Mayor, how the budget process is undertaken, etc. We meet every second Tuesday and fourth Tuesday. Those meetings are open to the public. I'm announcing this here because clearly we have a full house. We have a full board full of people who care about this community and people who showed up and care about this community. And we're seeking input from the public. There's various ways you can become engaged. You can come out to these meetings, find the information on the city website. Ms. Morrow happens to be our chairwoman and she's doing a fabulous job. You can also submit your comments on the portal on the city website. So please get involved. It's a very important process. And I would just encourage everybody who cares about how the city runs and their community to make their voices heard in that process. Thank you so much. They are at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Any additional? Yes, come on. Thank you.
Good evening, all. My name is Edward Felder. I've been here for the past 9 months. I haven't missed a meeting here, nor at the CRA board. So I've been quietly stalking and seeing what's going on. Meanwhile, I have a number of partners who are very interested in affordable housing. They say that's what East Tampa needs. So we have acquired a 2-acre parcel, a 3-acre parcel, and 5-acre parcels. We pay cash for them. These properties can be developed. We can probably do market rate, right? We built a few thousand throughout the country for other people, but our passion is Tampa, and East Tampa in particular. My question is, has this board examined looking at leveraging future TIF dollars to now capitalize on a number of different entrepreneurs coming and developers to build? So, and I think we have maybe 8 years left to develop for this East Tampa. So what are we looking at? Have we explored bonding? I think it's been done in downtown Tampa. It's been done in possibly Channel Side. It's been done throughout multiple cities throughout Florida. People are capitalizing on it right now. With my group, we can afford to build market rate, but it doesn't make financial sense for us to do affordable. We have one parcel we could probably do 250 units. We've decided to go no more than 150. We want to make lots of green space. We want the top of the line. We built several trophy properties in Tampa, but we want to do affordable housing, right? So it's not about the money, but giving back. But it would be beneficial for us and other small businesses and smaller developers here, and we begin to look at what can we leverage now versus looking down the future. So that's my question. If you guys can examine that as a CAC and then bring it up to probably CRA and then to the city council and the board, I think that's something that can is worthwhile looking at now. Because future tax dollars, we get that money now versus waiting 10, 15 years, that'd be beneficial. So that's my comments.
Any additional public comment?
Thank you. Are there any public comments online? Seeing that there be none, we will close this section for public comments. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from February 3rd? It's been so moved by Colonel Carrington and it's been seconded by Ms. White. All in favor by saying aye. Opposed, same sound. Thank you. Tonight, our agenda is very heavy with several presentations. Each presenter. Yes.
It wasn't a major commitment, but under communication education, that the community member asked for the safety in community gatherings to train residents. I think that was for me to ask that question. So I didn't-
It was public comment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it doesn't matter who said it.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it was in public comments. Thank you. We do have a presentation heavy agenda tonight. We're asking that all of our presenters will keep your presentations to 10 minutes. We have received the presentations before the meeting. I'm going to ask that all of our committee members will go around once. You have 3 minutes to share whatever your thoughts are. That is at max. And then if there's necessary action to take a vote, we will. This will keep us and prevent us from being here at 10 o'clock tonight. So I do ask that our committee members will prepare their comments. We will go around one time, committee members, and then we will call for the vote after that time. We will only do a necessary redirect if there is clarification needed on the motion or the vote that is at hand. At this time, our first presentation will come from our Code Enforcement and Community Policing Officer, Detective Andrew Washington.
Hey, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Just like the chairman said, I am Detective Washington, Tampa Police Department. And I think my presentation is basically to go over the last 7 months I've been working for East Tampa. Basically, it's our crime prevention through environmental design. It's pronounced CEPTEC. And once again, I'm Detective Washington, and that's program crime prevention through environmental design. So basically, if you haven't heard my presentation before, basically what it is like you want to take the environment and you want to change the criminal element in the environment. So you want to take you want to find out like why are people gathering here and not here? All right. So if the people gathering here are causing problems and causing calls for service, I need to find out why they're here. Okay. Does someone live there? Is it a business? Is it a private residence, or is it city-owned property? And now what can I do to get rid of the problem, which is calls for service for the police department, which means the more calls for service we have for like loud noise, people gathering, et cetera, that's less time the officers can spend on an actual burglary call, car burglary, stolen property. So if we eliminate lots of those calls, the police is freed up to do more time. And it's not like we show up, get all the information real quick, and we're back out the door because there's other calls waiting, like loud noise, et cetera. We get rid of that, they can spend more time talking to the complainant, sort of building a relationship. Make it feel like, okay, I called the police, they showed up. The officer just didn't take my information. The officer actually stayed there for, a set amount of time, talking to me, getting to know me, and giving me some examples of how maybe whatever the complaint is, try to prevent it from happening again. Okay. So basically my job is to carry out the Tampa Police mission. All right, it's real plain, real simple. The mission of the Tampa Police Department is to work in partnership with our community to reduce crime, improve quality of life, and make Tampa safer together. It includes all the residents, all the business owners, even all the people that are out here visiting on vacation. The East Tampa CRA has a mission, and their mission basically coincides with Tampa Police. It all winds down to enhance the quality of life and preserve the unique characters of the city and the neighborhoods. Okay. Once again, crime prevention, basically, CEPTEC. All right, it's a fighting technique in which the proper design and effective use and parks, open spaces, buildings, and surroundings, reduces crime and improves the quality of life for the community residents. Once again, referring back to Tampa Police mission. All right, so how do we do this? Apply this CEPTEP model throughout East Tampa. And like I said, over the last 7 months is what I've been doing. And as we go along, you'll see. Go ahead. All right, so now here's the part where, okay, I'm gonna think like an offender. And like I covered earlier, just giving you a little brief example. Next. All right, so you just say to yourself, which photo would you rather be walking in? Or say to yourself, if you were an offender, which photo would you want to commit a crime in?
The one on the right.
And why man?
It's dark.
That's right, it's dark. All right, so if I light it up,
Tree
you
line.
would have no options. You would have no more options if that was all lit up. You basically, I'm not gonna say you wouldn't commit a crime, you just find another place to do it. All right, next. All right, so here's an example. As you see the photo on your left, all right, you see a gentleman standing behind the bushes here, okay? So this is the same gentleman standing, but I'm way back. Excuse me, I'm up closer. That's further away, this is up closer. So imagine if it was, say like right now, like how it looks outside right now. Would you be able to see this guy? So if anybody's familiar with, I'm not gonna mention a park. So let's say I'm probably about 30, maybe a good 30 feet away in that photo. All right, in this photo, I'm about 15 feet away. That's the difference, okay? All right, so now what I did, I took this concept, all right, and I went out to the East Tampa neighborhoods. All right, so if you're familiar with 29th Street North and 18th Avenue, anybody familiar with that section right there? Okay. You see all the garbage and all the stuff to the left of the photo? All right, and we all know if you roll through there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, about, let's say 7 PM to about maybe 4 in the morning, there would be cars and people hanging out just all along the side. The poor residents that live in that house and the one behind, it's like they constantly call because it's not right. They should have the right to have a good night's sleep or have their children play behind that fence without hearing all the nonsense that's going on where people park on a public street. So now here's afterwards. This is what it looks like after I went out there and trimmed everything back. If you notice, and we didn't, and they went out there and cleaned up the day after we cut this. This is probably about 2 weeks later. You notice the difference in the garbage? There's no garbage. There's some, and it's coming from this dumpster, which I'm gonna take care of that part. But it's not like, you don't see food trays and everything where people buy food out of this door and walk across the street selling their cars, then discard it on the ground. All right, next. Here's another one. This is 18th, this is 28th Street and 18th Avenue. If you guys are all familiar with that alley, you'll have like probably anywhere between on a given day, 365 days a year, you would have about 15 to 20 people hanging out in this alley. They would have burn barrels and everything, just like you see here. They have the burn barrels, grills, etc., just hanging out. The only reason why they're hanging out there is because you can't see them from the road. All right, so you cut all that stuff out and clean up the alleyway, and boom, you can see, and they disappear. Here is 17th Street and 24th Avenue. Okay, be familiar with that? Open Belmont Heights. All right, here's the sidewalk here. Looking down the street, looking from the east back to the west. All right, that's before, this is after. All right, it's the same view. It's not the same view, but it's the same, from the same camera, the same angle. All right, it's just that you can literally see the houses and the sidewalks and stuff. As here, there's people standing under there, you can't really see them. Next. That's what I was doing for the last couple of months. Now there's a second part to that. Now that we trimmed up the limbs and got the problem areas, the vegetation lifted up, now we go back in and light it up. Partner with TCO, they'll go out, they'll do their exams, figure out what type of lighting and how many lights they need to add. or the ones they need to fix. So that'll all be happening as, you know, as this year rolls out. This, a lot of this stuff doesn't happen overnight. Let's go back to 29th Street. So 20, no, not the thing, but so just to do that along, there was two full dump trucks of limbs and stuff. So like once they're filled, they have to leave, go dump and come back. So it's like very like, so like we're lucky if we can do 2 blocks a day because of the, you know, because of all the, depending on how much limbs and stuff they have to cut. So it's very time consuming. That's why this stuff doesn't happen overnight. And plus city forestry, which I appreciate their help and everything, but they, you know, they have their other work orders they have to do throughout the whole city. And God forbid if we get like a hurricane or something like that, then this will be put on hold for a second. Okay. So, all right, now the other thing is safety. All right, safety at all of our intersections up in East Tampa. All right, if you notice, I won't mention the name of the street. All right, so when you come out here, all right, so say I either want to go across the street, make a right-hand turn, this bush is in the way. Okay, so you literally got to drive out into the road, all right, in order to see. Just so happens when I was there, this van was coming and he thought I was going to pull out in front of him, so he started to merge. But he didn't know I was there just taking photos. But in order to get a clear view, this is me in the driver's seat. So my shoulders are already on the white line, so the front of my vehicle is already out on the highway. So the other thing is, so I'll go around, go to the property owners and say, hey, listen, you know, this could cause an accident. You know, you can cut it down, or you know, we'll get the enhancement team to do it for you. And most of the time, you know, people are they're good with it. You know, like I said, the accidents will go down if we make all the intersections safe for everyone. Right. And other thing is like maintenance. So once this is all done, we just keep going. You have to just keep doing it over and over, keeping it maintained. Okay, and like I said, open sites and stuff already covered, the lighting. And then the other thing is activities, and that's more like for the parks. So we, you know, if we want our parks to stay free of people going there, actually, here we go. We want to take away, we don't want to give bad people we don't want to give bad people a bad place to hang out in East Tampa. That's as best as I put it. And now with the parks, so if we bring like the big red bus, you know, like maybe like yoga or something, or any kind of like games or anything to the parks, just so we get people used to like, hey, don't go there on the weekends because the East Tampa residents are using their parks, so we can't do any business there, or et cetera. And you know, so. Right, and like I said, just natural access, just make it clear for everybody to hang out in parks and separate public spaces from private spaces. As I said, clear pathways, entrances, exits. Strategy is landscaping, signage, mark everything clear. This has to do with the parks. All right, and like I said, another foster sense of ownership and care within the parks, indicating that the space is monitored and active, utilized by the community, helps keep crime away. And went over that, okay. And okay, so now the City of Tampa homeless liaison, that's the number for them. If you have any questions about homeless. All right, TPD now we have 4 homeless officers, and that's maintaining their job. They both work cycles, 4 on, 4 off. So when 2 are off, the other 2 are on, and they're out at the District 3 station, and that's their hours. Okay, like, okay, now, so we're talking about the local businesses selling expired food and selling adult toys within the shop. So I reached out to the Attorney General's office. They connected me with the FDLE, and they have an ongoing open investigation, which I'm not part of their investigation. So they'll only let me know once they're ready to make arrests and wrap it up. Okay, other than that, I won't know the days that they go out there, but they are working on those stores that these East Tampa residents have been complaining about and concerned about. All right, my objectives for 2026. All right, September for every business and private residence within the East Tampa CRA boundaries. Private residents, I will only do the outside of your house. I will not come on the inside, but I will go to your house, look at your house and say, okay, if I was an offender, how would I get in? What makes your house attractive to me? And we'll talk about it. All right, businesses, I'll do the inside and outside, and the Operation Tico, which I covered. Thank you for your time. Everybody have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Mr. Costa.
All right, question?
We're gonna, well, hold on, we're gonna around. So we'll start this way. Yes, go ahead. Did you say they could hear?
It seems like I can hear.
Okay, thank you for your presentation
Yeah.
and the update. A lot of, you've already kind of taken care of as far as strategies go, what's in place and your objectives going into this year. Just two quick questions. Are there any new technologies or processes that are going to be adapted this year to make, reporting, code violations and all those other things, easily accessible for residents?
So as far as code, as I know of, nothing has changed about the reporting
Okay.
system. I know they've had a whole administration change.
Okay.
Most of the, if you notice, most of the code officers that work the area, they're new. So what they did was they just swapped everybody around the city. They want to start this section of their code enforcement bureau fresh. So there's all new people. And like I said, it's under new direction and they'll be rolling out something.
Okay.
I just don't know what that plan is and I don't have a date. All I know is that like they requested a meeting, but they have not set a date with me yet.
Okay.
All right. And as far as technology, everything is as far as on TPD side, everything is staying the same.
Okay, all right. And then one quick question as well. I know that you talked about the tree trimming, just creating safe spaces and areas. I know you don't have, because it's very kind of hard as far as a timeline, but do you have any type of projection or is there like a map and how many areas have already been taken care of and covered? How much longer is that process going to take just for, anticipation perspective?
So thus far in East Tampa, I've done 12 locations, all right, throughout the neighborhoods. And as far as my projection is like, it's a never ending thing. You just keep going and going. Once you're done with something, move on to the next. And as I'm moving the offenders along, I'm gonna have to leapfrog right with them. So, all right, yes, ma'am, next.
Okay, two questions.
Yeah.
Did you bring the pictures of the awesome work that you did behind the auto zone, which is the last part of our boundary of the East Tampa CRA?
No, I did not, ma'am.
Outstanding work. You should have brought those pictures and spoke on it.
That's right.
Awesome work. And then also, are we still allowed the neighborhood associations who have complaints, who are afraid to register them with their names? Are we still allowed to use your name?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Nothing's changed on my end.
Awesome. I'll make sure I put that out there to all of the
Right.
CRA, all of the neighborhood associations. We can still use your name when we file a complaint with code enforcement.
Right.
Thank you.
Just to cover over what Ms. Tate just mentioned, so when you make a complaint with code, they want your name and your address and everything, and a lot of people just aren't willing to get that. So instead, you can use my name, Andrew Washington at tampagov.com as the complainant. The only thing I ask that you do is just contact your neighborhood association president. Just let them know that you did, or email me, andrew.washington@tampagov.net, and let me know that you're going to put that in, or you already send it. But once you send it, I get an email anyway, so I'll know before you even contact me, unless you do it that same day. But we have not had any problems with that going on for like 2 years now. I've been doing it. So
Thank you, sir.
next.
I almost forgot what I was gonna ask. Oh, at one time, in the East Tampa area, we had a lot of areas that trash was being dumped and there were cameras that were posted. Is that still ongoing or are we, because I know in some other CRAs, they increased the number of cameras. I haven't seen any in the East Tampa.
Well,
Don't work.
they're so all of our cameras for the East Tampa CRA are working. All right, you won't see them because I have them repositioned to where they're not so obvious. All right, so that's still the same. I won't share the locations. Yeah, so-
All right.
Anybody else have a question?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your presentation. As part of the SEPTED
Yes,
program, will at any point in this program, will there be a requirement of additional policing or surveillance? So kind of is additional policing or surveillance a part of the environmental design at any phase or any point?
So good question. So basically, the question is like after the SEPTEP, has been in an area and it's working, what are the police is going to do, basically, right?
Well, yes, but also like is there a phase in your design where once you clear out that path, you do put a camera or you do put a station in office?
So what I do is once we clear out a problem spot, all right, so there's this thing called recurring call. So that means like at least probably about 8 times in a 24-hour period, officers are automatically dispatched to that location, and they have to stay there for X amount of minutes, and they have to have their body cameras on, and the body camera says to show if there's people here, you best be running them off. If there's not, then it's, you make your remarks, but they're no longer showing up and just sitting there playing on your phone and then leave or whatever. Okay, so there's it's called a recurring call to the problem locations. So, but most of the for me, the recurring calls are out way before we do the trimming.
Okay.
Because it's a problem.
Okay.
And we've been doing that for about 3 years now in District 3.
Okay.
All right. I work in District 3. So District 3, I can only speak for what we do in District 3. Okay. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Is there any additional costs going to be needed to complete this program from this year? Okay.
No, right now this is all city. Okay. All city. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How do you prioritize the areas that get addressed, or if a resident wanted to request that you evaluate the area, just say the bushes, or do you guys come up with that, or can someone contact you to say we would like this addressed or looked into to see if it can fall in line with your calendar, I guess?
Right. So basically what happens, I go out to the meetings and I'll say to the members, say, okay, so go back home, go to your area, your street, take photos or whatever, wherever you're afraid to walk in your neighborhood, send me your location and photo and I'll go out and look at it. And what I do is I'm always on the go. So, I could go out that same day I get it, or I go out within the next day. I'll just say within 4 days, I'm on it. So.
One more question.
Yes.
If you go out to someone, let's say a resident, you come evaluate and they have some areas in which they need to address for security that you've identified, are there any additional funds maybe that could help with them with security cameras, or is there any sort of fund that can help residents in any manner to help secure their perimeter?
Right. There is, okay, but you have to, it's there are companies that will work with the police department, but it won't be totally free. So I don't know what the costs are. And usually when I go out and talk to people, like the police can access your cameras if you give us access to them. So a lot of people are inclined to do that, but like I said, it's basically this program is just suggestions when it comes to private property. I can suggest you just changing these are, you might want to go 1.5 inch deadbolt lock on your door. You don't have to do it. It's just a suggestion. So you're welcome.
For the sake of time, are there any pending questions for Detective Washington? We have 6 more presentations. Any more pending questions? So Detective Washington, we appreciate you. Thank you for your time, and you're a great help to this community. So thank you so much. Thank you. At this time, we'll have acquisition and process of history of East Tampa acquisitions.
Okay, greetings. B Park CRA Community Development Coordinator. I'm going to be giving a verbal report regarding this, but you all have the master list and the acquisition dates, the amount that we acquired these lots for, and the reason why we required it. The process previously, which was explained to me, and I have Director McCray here to support me with this one. It from real estate, typically when they look to acquire lots, it starts from a parent department which has an intention in mind. So then they are given that chance to say, okay, let me go out and now work through their department to start negotiations with either a private owner or whatnot to acquire that land. And also it could be done through tax deeds, but that hasn't been done since, based off of here, 1999. So then they do what is called an environmental phase, where they look to see if there's any environmental issues on that land, and then they come back to that department and say, hey, are you willing to pay X, Y, Z dollars to acquire that? That department holds the right on what they're acquiring it for. For example, whatever we acquired throughout the years was land assemblage. And I have Mr. McCray just to kind of explain the Palafox deal, the 12th and Osborne deal. Those was to acquire enough lots to actually build something on it. You can't do a substantial amount of development on just one lot. So that kind of gives just a brief overview of acquisitions, like from a real estate point of view from the city of Tampa. Now, the dispositions I actually went over last presentation, where I mentioned how could we dispose of land. So of course, you know, we have to follow purchasing guidelines per chapter 163, and we have to disseminate that out to the community through a request RFQ, RFP, to a developer to then basically go off of the concepts that we included in our RFP, or they basically propose to us if it's funding that we'll push out, which I can briefly explain that later on in the at night about some opportunities. But we then lay it out in that document on what we're looking to be constructed on that land. So that's disposition. That's how the city works. That's how the CRA works, pretty much. Now, on this list, which I got from real estate, it goes off, if you kept the previous presentation, which has the map and the method moving forward on what we're looking to do, then you could compare it to this master list here, where it goes by that mapping label 1 through 41. Then it has the site address, and then it gives an acquisition date, and then it gives a cost. And then again, a reason for purchase based off of what was provided from real estate at that time. So anything else you want to put in, Mr. McCray? Is that it? Okay, any specific questions that maybe I can answer? Or if not, I ask for your patience to then go back to real estate and then ask whatever questions I cannot answer in the past, but I can answer what we can do moving forward.
Any necessary comments based on acquisitions?
Yeah, thanks for making it legible. This is wonderful.
Okay.
It would just be nice if we have maybe one day a written plan for some of the parcels that are grouped together of what their purpose is, especially those who have for a significant amount of time, so we can know that East Tampa's not building a CLT, but this is for the assembling of whatever is to come. So we can have that map, so we can say that. So if someone says property has been around for 15 years, we're waiting on this particular piece of property to be able to sell, so we can do that. So I think if you guys could do a presentation, that's, you know, something in writing for us to have, so we'll know what the purpose of those parcels are.
Okay, so on more than just these purposes on here, because this one basically says acquired for Palafox. This one then says CRA assembly. So the ones that are in blue are the previous presentation I gave that gives you the parcels for Palafox. And then I told you what we're doing with Palafox, which is the RFP.
Down here is just land assemblage, and that's it. So they're very vague.
Okay,
Hey,
they will, so then yes, I could bring back the presentation and align it with this one. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Burns. Anything for me? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much.
At this time, there is an area that is created in our budget for unit creation and conversion. And tonight we have two developer presentations. The first, we will have 34th Street Housing Development proposal by Genesis Development Group. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Okay, excuse me. Please belay my last. Presentation, new acquisition, Palafox, night in the 19th development.
And I don't think it's not really a presentation, more so there's a policy overland, like presented a memo to the board, to the start to the CAC. We just need you to recommend moving forward with this purchase, recommend to the CRA board to approve this purchase.
It's already been approved. We're asking for $10,000 for.
Well, no,
Is that correct?
we still need to recommend
Okay,
complete purchase.
Okay.
It's in the contract,
okay,
but it's not approved yet by the board. The board hasn't approved it yet.
okay,
So we're recommending, we're asking the CAC to recommend approving it by the board.
okay.
This is for the Palafox RFP, so it's gonna additional parts towards the Palafox RFP.
Okay.
And it'll help with land assemblage, with like site preparation and parking perhaps.
I will defer to our real estate colleagues. I did notice in this memo that the parcel is appraised at one amount, but the seller is asking for more than the appraised amount. What would typically be our rule of fashion to edge this. So I'll defer to my colleagues on that.
May I?
Sure, please.
In my experience, we typically wouldn't offer more than what it's appraised at because the value isn't there. But if we really wanted it for whatever reason, I guess contiguously to be a part of the other property, to combine it and to do some bigger idea development, then we have to make that decision. But typically we don't pay over appraisal value.
It's only 3.67% over appraisal value, and then we hit a percentage. It makes sound different, but that makes sense.
No,
Okay.
no. I just, it's appraised for this amount. He's at, in the way that I read, it's appraised for this amount, but he's asking for this amount. So I think it's worth having discussion, even if it was for $5,000. You know, these are taxpayer dollars, and we want to make sure that we are being fiscally responsible for what we've been entrusted. So.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
Is acquiring the parcel preventing us from doing something else? Can you tell me? I'm sorry, I wasn't here when that discussion.
No, it's not going to prevent us, but it's going to enhance the project because we're looking for additional parking for that location.
It seems to me that based on the information here that it's kind of a key parcel that improves access tremendously for development of that site, that I think the betterment of that development is worth the additional, the 3%.
That's what I'm looking at here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at here.
Well, wait, is that true? Like,
Yeah, it's true. It's key, and it's also additional parcel because we do need to accommodate the future residents for that site.
Any more discussion before we call for vote?
Yes, I don't want to kick this down the road at all. I want to take action now. But ideally, we would have seen this Palafox property again as a reminder before we take action on it to vote, to see how this really is impacted. Is it significantly enhanced if we get this other property over what is being appraised or not?
I think we have in times past, if my memory serves me correctly.
And I'm not asking to do it right now. I'm asking going forward, if we're in this position again, that we just kind of revisit and remind the board of what we're voting on.
Yeah, this came up before us last year.
Right.
And I don't think there's a visual diagram tonight. I just wanted to know what was the difference in the price that we originally thought to what the seller wants now, but you're absolutely correct.
And at that time, the seller didn't want to sell.
Yeah. So
No problem.
is there a motion?
Yes. Please, please. Vice Mayor, please.
It is to not exceed $300,000. Is there a motion?
I move that we recommend approval of the acquisition in the amount of 300,000. Not to exceed.
Not to exceed. Is there a second?
Second.
Who seconded?
Miss, I think she came from. So Ms. Headland, Mr. Costa has second. It has been properly moved in second. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, sir. All opposed?
Aye.
All right, the acquisition of the 4539 North 14th Street Palafox portfolio has been passed. Thank you so much. No, no, it's unanimous.
Question.
Yes.
Andrea White, what are we going to do going forward to prevent this from happening again?
What could you?
Can anything be done when we purchase the property? It seems like we're missing something that if, I don't know how to say this. How do we avoid making the same mistake again when we have people that are professionally trained to go out and survey a property with the design and concept of what we want or what they want built that nobody recognized at that time? I know things flipped to the crack, but that did not recognize the fact that we needed additional parcels when we were already starting out building the parcels small.
They don't, so it's a process, meaning that we can go to them, we can look at a site and say, all right, we need these parcels. Then we go to the individuals, hey, do you mind selling? If they're not selling, then we can't do anything about that. We can't force people to sell their property.
Will that affect the design? Can the design be changed?
It's going to make it a stronger design. That's why we're trying to acquire it so that we can make that site even stronger. I know that this has been something that we're trying to do in the East Tampa CRA. So once it did come up, we're just trying to bring it forward and saying, hey, we need this to move forward, because now the seller came back and said, hey, I'm willing to sell.
Yeah, to me, Park's point, a land assemblage takes a long time, and you're not going to be able to foresee all of that at the beginning once you start picking up parcels. So based on my experience in the real estate development world for the past 20 years, a land assemblage can take anywhere from 5 to 10 years to maximize benefit.
Headland is recognized.
Going forward, what may be helpful, I've had the benefit of sitting here and seeing the actual plan in the past, like the block plan, and seeing all the parcels mapped out and what we had and what we didn't have. Going forward, it may be helpful to have that graphic so everybody can be looking at the same thing and understand what kind of the consequences are going forward.
Thank you. Yes.
And that's what I would recommend also. Be that a visual, and we have something to look at. Instead of going out buying and paying somebody something, because I feel a little, you know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. At this time, we will have a presentation from the unit creation and conversion. There are two presentations from developers. The first is 34th Street Housing Development Proposal from the Genesis Development Group, and then Robles Ybor Village Housing Development Proposal by Domain Homes. Presenters, you do have 10 minutes and you will be timed.
No.
Where's there?
Okay, so good evening, B Park CRA Community Development Coordinator, and I am here to introduce the Williams Brown Legacy 34th Street project. It's from our Unit and Creation program. Now, just FYI, our unit creation and conversion program is actually under revisement. That is what we're going to be discussing with the CRA board March 6th for the new process. This was actually submitted to us the previous way when we were collecting the funding application and then coming in front of you guys to present it. And then, of course, you guys making a recommendation to move forward. So at that, I just wanted to bring you some background prior to this starting, okay? So I'm going to bring up Genesis Development Partners.
Yes. Okay. Oh, perfect. So first of all, and this is an honor for us to be here this evening to present this project because we believe that this is exactly what the program was created for. This is going to be the first project that we are developing for the family. So the family is totally involved. And you heard some of the public comments, but this is the Williams Brown Legacy 34th Street. Yay. Okay. So I think you heard some of the public comments, and we have the family that's here that we've already been working with, Miss Victoria and her daughter. But we will be honoring Lillian Williams Brown and all. My name. Oh, well, I'm going to get to that because the thing that's ironic is we're not the important people here. The important folks are the family and the legacy. So that's why we wanted to. Yes. So the Genesis Development Group, and I'm Dr. Lena Graham. So if you want to go to that slide. Okay.
Just leave it like that, it's fine.
Okay. All right, perfect. So we just want to, you see the family that's here, you see the information, you can take a look at it, but we really want to work with the family to leave the legacy. So the development is honoring Lillian Williams Brown. Okay. If you can go to the next one. Thank you. So this is formally the development group. And so it's myself, Dr. Lena Graham. I have over 20 years of experience with construction and going into micro development. My co-developer is at Jennings. He has a plethora of experience over 25 years. He worked appointed by President Obama for HUD and managed those dollars. And then we have Donald Odom, who worked with for a number of years, but he has over 20 years and specifically in affordable housing. And so we were talking earlier, and this is the right project, the right time, and the right team. So we're excited to talk to you about it. Next slide. All right, this project really concentrates on 30 to 80% AMI. It is senior and workforce housing. It's going to be a 4-story with the parking lot on the bottom of the small commercial space to follow the ordinance of the building. And then it will be commercial space on the second floor, along with some of the 1-bedrooms. And then we'll have 2 floors going up for a total of 4 floors. You can go to the next slide. If you all don't know the location, it's North 34th Street and 21st Avenue, right off of the bus Heart. So it's ideal for what we're trying to do. That's the location, and that's a small rendering. I want to really get to the meat. So if we can go to the next one. Okay. For my portion, I really want this to be one of the most important things that you take away. This is a legacy project. And we are working side by side in tandem with the family. In addition to that, the economic impact that we're looking to make. So we're keeping the tax dollars local. That means that we will be looking to maximize local subcontractors from the area. We will be looking to reinvest in marginalized women-led businesses, in addition to apprenticeship programs and increasing the workforce. So a true economic impact and keeping aligned with what the family wants, which is, again, the senior housing and workforce housing. So directly working for first responders, directly working with the school district, for custodians, and for some of our cafeteria workers and so forth to be able to have access to this housing. So that we're very proud of. Next slide. I want to transition to my co-developer, let him get into some of the meat and potatoes. Mr. Jennings.
First of all, good evening. One more time, good evening. Thank you so much. My name is Ed Jennings. I consider myself a son of East Tampa because my grandmother lived here 60 years before she passed away, and they are members of College Hill Baptist Church. And they were my dad was one of 14, the Jennings family. I know there are other high schools in Hillsborough County, but I only know of Middleton High School is the only high school that's important, I'm told, in East Tampa. So even though I was raised in Gainesville and had my career there, I've been here, growing up here all of my now 57 years of life on a regular basis. So I want to let you know there's not just some people coming in from out of town trying to talk to you about East Tampa who don't know it. Those of us who have been in and around this community for generations. So I want to give you that connectivity. As Dr. Lena said, the planned number of units for this project. Let me go back one more step. You gave us 5 more minutes than I thought we had. So let me give you a little bit more background. She said this, but I was fortunate in 2010 to be appointed by President Obama to run HUD for the Southeast United States. Some 8 states, Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So I give you that background to tell you that people that we're familiar with and communities that we're familiar with all around the country and all around the Southeast, like East Tampa, are doing new and different things. I am honored, along with our partners, to be focused in bringing some of those new ideas, fresh ideas, to not gentrify community, but work with the people who live here to improve and enhance the power of their property, the value of their property for generational wealth. Those are the kind of things I hope that this CRA is focused in on. Prior to working for President Obama, I had about 25 years of working in real estate development, affordable housing in my own community being Gainesville. So I want to give you a little bit more background about that. On to this project. As Dr. Lena talked about, 31 units. We're looking to do 26 2-bedroom, 2 baths, and 5 1-bedroom, 1 bath. So 31 units total, up to 6,000 square feet of commercial space. Could be everything from a small local grossing opportunity, maybe for a co-op, maybe a dialysis center, something medical healthcare, everything to small retail. That may be something big at 6,000 or some smaller units. So I want to give you that sense. Because of where this property is located in East Tampa, instead of having the regular requirement of about 64 parking spaces, we're in an overlay district that's going to require us to put 1.5 parking spaces per residential unit, and then 3 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet of commercial space. And that gives us an opportunity for a 20% reduction in parking. So that's how we got the 52 parking spaces. This project is going to be density compliant. And the issue that is even to me most important about this project is 50 years. 50 years. The set aside for this property being from 30% AMI to 80% AMI will be 50 years. So you will have an opportunity to do something today that will impact the next 2 generations. Next slide. I just broke down the idea of what the breakdown of the units will be, the 31, again, units total, the 6,000 square feet. This is at least a rendering. Don't hold us to this design, but something comparable to what a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit would look like. You see the facade up to 4 stories. So there'll be some good spacing there for the families. The residential units would be on now the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor, would have parking on the 1st floor. Next slide. Again, what is, even I know you all know at CAC, but everybody may not understand that what is 30% AMI, what is 50% AMI, what is 80% AMI. That means every year HUD, my former team, does an analysis of what AMI is, annual median income. What is it for a particular community? And it's broken down by the number of persons in a household. What you all have focused in on and rightly focused in, the hardest to serve are those folks that are at 30% AMI, because by definition, they don't make that much money. So we are dedicating of this 31 units to doing 4 units at 30% AMI, 50 at 50% AMI, 14, and to have income distribution there in that particular development, having 13 units at 80% AMI. You can look across the columns here to see how many persons it takes to make. These are the 3 groups we're looking at: 80, 50, and 30. About this, the size of families we'll be serving. Mostly we're talking about 2-person households or 1-person households. You may have a small family that may have up to 3 in the household, but largely we're talking 2-person households dedicated and focused on seniors in particular. May need a caretaker in their home in those situations. So those are, thank you so much. Keep going. Thank you for that reminder. I needed that. This is the capital stack. We were asking for the catalyst. $5 million has been recommended by the city staff. For this, will be about 40% of the development will be done that way. About $4.5 million will be in debt that we would go to the private system of banks, maybe Suncoast Credit Union or Wells Fargo or Fifth Third Bank, those type of locations for that perspective. And then doing equity in the deal locally will be $3.3 million that will raise in local capital funds. Last thing I want to say about this side is that we're going to be looking at $161,000 per unit. That's the investment that you'll be putting in to this development. Next slide. This is the breakdown of the cost and what happens in that, how we got up to the $12.8 million and what pieces of that. Next piece, go down to the timeline. I want to make sure that I've talked longer than I was supposed to already. That this is March, April. This is the meeting we're in now in March. We'd expect to go to the CRA in April. We would then have a site plan approval in Q3 of this, as Q3 of 2026. Financing close at the end of the year in Q4. Start construction in January of next year, and then be a substantial completion in Q2 of 28, but 15 months later. Finish the entire project in by December of 2028. Next slide. We want to say thank you for giving us the opportunity. Apologize for me getting excited and talking a little long, but want to give you some more information about this. But again, a $12.8 million project that's going to deliver 31 workforce units, activating 34th Street in a new and different way. Your $5 million investment is going to leverage $7.8 million in private capital here. So we're asking for your approval of the recommendation from your CRA staff, and we're obviously open to any questions. Thank you so very much.
He said it twice that there's a recommendation from the CRA staff. We didn't receive a memo with the recommendation.
You put a memo in there. Now it was, I would want, yeah, I would want to revise a couple of things. So the
recommendation for $5 million at 36 units total.
yeah, yeah. So at first, the original memo that went out had 36 units. They did come back and said that they can accommodate the 31 units, which we spoke about when they made the corrections tonight. So the first 36 units at the $5 million ask was coming up to around 138 per unit. I did, that's my recommendation based off of cost and what standard costs to build these type of units. So I did recommend that. Now, again, I just want to say that we're having a dialogue about, the recommendation to move it forward, just like they mentioned, is a catalyst to move the project forward. Nothing would be going to a developer's agreement until all of the funding has been recognized by our department to move forward with the developer's agreement. So I would state that. So what will be done now is if you do recommend that to move forward, then again, it'll go in front of the CRA board. They'll have to present in front of the CRA board where they go over these numbers again. There'll be the yes or no at that point, just like other development deals that we have. And then I will be working closely, like I'm working with the other development deals, to make sure that they'll be able to finish securing all of their financing. Now, I would say March 6th, in front of the CRA board, hope everyone attends, is a public meeting. We're discussing a timeline of 6 months for these projects to acquire financing. As you know, with development, sometimes you'll need a conditional approval from one financing arm to then navigate the other financing arm. Again, we will not go into a developer's agreement until we secure all of the lines of credit and that it's shown that they have that in their possession. Again, this is development. When it comes before us, there's some developers that have all of the secured lines of credit, and there's some that you have to work towards. Again, I want to preface that we will not enter into a developer's agreement, which, as you can see, there's some projects that we're still dealing with on the back end currently that went in front of the board to make sure that we can move them across the bridge. So again, it did change to 31, which made it into 161 per unit. That is up for conversation tonight. Previously, it was the 36 at the 5 million, which is around 138. When you look at construction costs, that's stable with construction costs locally.
Ms. Helen, we'll start with you.
First, thank you for the presentation. Appreciate the mix of units, the density, the location, the team. This is exciting to see it as a legacy project being presented tonight. I also think this is an incredibly important project because it will become a catalyst for some of that critical infill that we need in the middle of East Tampa. My one question regarding the amount, the 5 million, does that tied with any sort of community benefits agreement?
Yes.
So
yes, it does.
So I think the only project that's been tied to a community benefits agreement to date for East Tampa is the Sanchez Haya building.
And then the Ashley East building, the deal that came before you, which was 9.7 million. So yes, it's community benefits.
Community benefits.
Yes.
Is put in place.
Yes. That is part of our developer agreement.
Ms. Martinez.
Hi, Mimi for the record. So thank you for your presentation. I do really appreciate that you are keep telling the story and keeping the community culture going. I guess I just have a quick question because it's so important to keep the story going in the history all over the city of Tampa, especially in East Tampa. I was just curious, as part of the community benefit agreement, if there's any way that you could consider allocating maybe some funds for some artwork or something that you can formally do to honor this woman, maybe have I don't know, a plexiglass display or something out in the front or in the corridor in the apartment, or some decorative benches or something.
Hi, sorry. I was just asking if they would consider to allocate some money for some artwork to honor this woman, just so that we can keep telling the story. It's great that you name it, the legacy. I think we can do a little bit more and start presenting some actual artwork to make that visual story, because the people who live there, they'll say, hey, guess where I live? And then they'll go back to work and be like, did you know that this woman did X, Y, and Z? And that's how you keep the story going. So I would ask that, you know, as part of a community benefit agreement, that we would start to, for all the projects moving forward, to allocate some money to start incorporating art that tells the rich history of the community. Thank you.
Hi, I do thank you for your presentation.
My only ask is, did you guys go to the community and see if this is something that they're interested in? That's my only question. Has that been presented to the community?
We're here.
Well, I appreciate that because, sometimes developers come in the community and they do not like come forth and say what, allow the input of the community. So I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Cedric Carrington. I don't have any questions, but I got 2 comments. Now, for the presenter, Mr. Jennings, there are far more than just one high school in East Tampa, okay? But we'll keep it there for now. I think this is something that we can be very proud of, right? This is our legacy. When I think about Grant Park and what we're doing there, when I think about this Brown residence, that could be the East Tampa CAC legacy. So when we go back to our neighborhood community associations and we get beat up on about what is the CRA doing or what is the East Tampa CAC doing, this is exactly what we can take back and show. So this particularly, as we approach sunset, I want to expedite this and do whatever we can to get this approved as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Joanna Colbert, I just want to say that I'm definitely in support of the project. The percentage of the AMI is very attractive, that we do need more of that in our community. But I do have a question. It's not for you. It's just maybe for me and for the group that may not understand or may not know. So we commit these dollars for this percentage of AMI. Let's say they build it, everything goes well, but then they rent to people who are far beyond that. So it doesn't work like that? Okay.
So prior to them leasing it to the individuals, they have to go through us. So we qualify those individuals. We give them an award, basically a income qualification letter saying that we have checked your bank statements, we checked your income, and you are qualified to rent in this apartment.
Thank you. Will you be engaging the retailers for the commercial space? What is your process for engaging local businesses and local entrepreneurs?
Thank you. Let me start with, first of all, as Dr. Lena said, we're not going to even wait for the commercial issue with any of the local vendors. The contractors will be working with our GC lead to talk about that. There'll be some workforce training for young men and women who want to work in some of the trades, who are locals. But we will hire, there are a couple in the room that I won't call out their name because we haven't signed anything yet, but with local brokers. This is not going to be something, again, done in Atlanta or New York or Washington. A local commercial broker will be able to go through, there's a conference in particular called ICSC, the International Council of Shopping Centers, where you can go and meet with all the commercial vendors who are interested in locating in an area. They have one in Orlando every fall, but they have them all around the state of Florida. We'll have a local commercial broker who will then go solicit the potential vendors. It could be, again, a dialysis center that already has a location somewhere in West Tampa that now wants to go to East Tampa. It could be a small cleaners. It could be a hair salon. It could be a barbershop. It could be a nail salon. All of those kinds of things are things you do. What you do, some basic issues you've seen renting now come spring of 2027. You've seen those signs up in the community, but you have a professional commercial broker, real estate broker, who then can market the site, and they'll be looking at local contacts to make that happen.
Ms. White.
Andrea White. I think at this time, this has been, in my personal opinion, the best presentation that we have received when it comes down to breaking it down to the percentage on where we are in housing at the low income rate. Because things like that, if you don't have and you've lived in other places, there is no rent control. We seriously need that here in Tampa with all the building that's going on, to be sure that low income community folks are engaged and we are committed to housing them. We're having a lot of building going on in other areas, but it's not falling true to what the presentations come through. And I feel very confident that we need to go ahead and support this project and get it going to show other developers when they come in, this is what East Tampa has been asking for 100 years.
Yes, yes. Well stated.
Good afternoon, Fran Tate, founder and president of the Jackson Heights Neighborhood Association. When I received a call to meet concerning this project, I rushed down there. We have been asking, we have been praying for something like this. The first thing I said, I want a bust for my sorrow erected on this property. I want something to commemorate her for sure. I want to support this project 100%. Seniors, I told them, I said, I'm concerned about my seniors. I want them protected. I want security placed on this premises. Do you have it allocated? Do you have monies for the security? I mean, other facilities have security on site 24/7. Well, we hadn't thought about that. Think about it. Because I'm gonna call the police if there's trouble down here and my seniors have been disturbed. Oh, Fran Tate gonna do them digits because this is my community. These are my boundaries. So I want my seniors protected. They will be living here. I want them living in peace and privacy. And then I understand that we're gonna have our firefighters living there. We do have a station right there. I can walk to this myself. I understand that we're gonna have cafeteria workers living there. That's wonderful. And I understand there's gonna be a dialysis unit on the premises. I'm not quite sure. I see medical. That's my occupation. I am in the medical field, 31 years. Moffitt Cancer Center. Yes, I love it. So yes, let's get this done. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you guys for your presentation. We appreciate your due diligence, but most importantly, your level of local resident and community engagement, because that's where it starts. So I am in support of this project because we need lots of motion in East Tampa. So just continue to keep the community involved and it first. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I would tell you, based on precedents of where we've been as a board over the last few years, that I would have suggested no on this property. And this is the reason why. The state of Florida has instituted for subsidies at a rate of $75,000 per unit. We have set a precedence here from the time that I've been on the board of $100,000 per unit. What switched my mind was how you stacked your AMI, 30% and 50%. Many developers have come in for 80% wanting a high subsidy, which goes over the state of Florida, what the statute really is, and what we've kind of said as a precedence as a board and as a committee. So that sold me, and I'm very honest about that, because we have to be very careful and mindful of the taxpayer dollars and the other developers that would come to East Tampa that will want to build the same thing that may have a stronger capital stack. But because you allow that switch for us to be able to see 30 and 50%, I'm in favor of that project. So at this time, we will call for a vote. Is there a motion for this project of $5 million for the 34th Street housing development proposal?
I make a motion.
So Ms. White, she has made the motion. Ms. Fran Tate has second. We're going to do a roll call vote because this is a high amount. Ms. Hedlund, Ms. Martinez, Mr. DeLiosa, I'm so sorry. Please allow pause. Sir, did you have comment before we call for the vote? I didn't hear anything.
No, yeah, no, sir, no questions. I'm in favor of the vote. I vote aye.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Winters?
I'm in favor of the vote.
Okay, please excuse me, board. Ms. Gaines?
Yes.
Emphatically, yes.
Yes. Aye.
Ms. White?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it has unanimously passed. Congratulations. Thank you so much. At this time, we'll have the Robles. That is worthy of celebration.
Yes, it is.
I would hope that you don't come to the meeting and leave. You will stay for the duration of the meeting. All right. You got what you wanted and leave. I hope you will not leave after you get what you want. All right. What? I'm tired. Domain Homes, if you'll come and make the presentation. I need to.
Okay, so we are moving right along. So I want to introduce Domain Homes, and I always put in a preface to presentations by Domain Homes to just state that they didn't come looking for us. It just happened to fall into my lap. So again, I just want to say that they did not come looking for us. I just go hound people and see how I can convert units to affordable housing. And then I go and ask them, hey, can we make this happen? So at this point in time, I am going to introduce Kevin Robles. He is going to start the presentation of Ybor Heights Village.
Do you think I need this microphone?
Yeah.
I do. Hello, everybody. I want to introduce myself. My name is Kevin Robles. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Domain Homes. We're going to present, and as well as the Vice President of Land Acquisition, Jim McCarthy, who's with me this evening as well. So this project we've owned for about 5 years. We've been trying to get through the platting process with the city and have finally arrived at a plat at this point. This project is under the CRA program, is really a conversion project. We are internally funding this project completely. This project will have the opportunity for 80 to 140% AMI purchase with an income qualified purchaser with a 50-year income restriction. So CRA manages that. We're simply the builder and deliverer of the product. There are 16 home sites here. These home sites will be inclusive of 7 semi-attached homes at approximately 1,483 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, along with 2 smaller single-family homes that are 1,288 square feet. Those homes are 3-bedroom, 2 bath as well. So in this project, what we are seeking is a developer subsidy in order to be able to deliver a house below the 90% median cost of the house to an income qualified person between 80 and 140% AMI. This is home ownership. This is not rental or lease. So it's a different project than what you just saw, which, by the way, I want to say those folks did a mighty nice job on that previous project, and I commend them for that. Development is never easy. So I was a little concerned about their timeline, but sounds like to me they got it going on. So hopefully they'll make their timelines. And if I could say one other thing in dealing with the city of Tampa, you guys are very, very passionate about that project that was ahead. Please do not hesitate to pick up the phone and call your elected officials and your staff to make sure that this project, the one, not mine, because I'm working on mine, but the project before gets pushed along, because sometimes comments from people who serve on boards and the public at large. Yeah, okay. I hope they're upstairs working on their permits is what I hope. So, but y'all were very passionate about that, and it does take some push, because the one thing you don't want to see of these projects languish. So this project is very straightforward. We own the property. We've subdivided the property. We've been in business for 16 years doing urban infill housing. Previous to that, we did do the largest public-private partnership with the city of Tampa and delivered 100 single-family homes in East Tampa. So that I'm very proud of. And just a little follow-up note to that, I think it was very, very important to have home ownership within East Tampa. There's all kinds of housing needs, but it's especially important. And I will tell you that when we did the Urban 360 project in East Tampa, we also wound up with almost 50 housing units at market rate that the Urban 360 program kind of pushed along and created some synergies there as well. So we are familiar with the East Tampa overlay guidelines. We subscribe to those. We participate in organizations such as the Ybor City Chamber of Commerce, the CDC of Tampa, and the City of Tampa Affordable Housing Committee. So we're very ingrained into the city. I think next slide, please. We're privately held. We've been in the Tampa market since 2010, as well as I have been a licensed contractor since 1981, and I've held a broker's license since 1978. I'm here to stay generationally. I don't know if you noticed the last name, but that is the one. So I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. We have a $77 million credit facility among 3 banks, so we're extremely well capitalized. The other thing that we did work out with some of the staff with the CRA was that we will not take any developer subsidy until the units are sold to a third-party end-user qualified income buyer, and only then do we receive a developer subsidy. We're not looking for any partnership of money as we go along. So
they do.
So we currently have about $18 million committed into the local marketplace. And believe it or not, we're 100% female-owned business enterprise. So for those who want, and that's not me. So next slide. So this is the product. This is a semi-attached product. Each side is about 1,483 square feet. And typical floor plan that you would see in that single car garage. Everybody has fee simple ownership. So they have a yard, they have a small backyard, they have a front yard, place for their vehicle, and place to park out on the driveway. Next slide. And there's 2 different elevations. And then these are the smaller single family homes. And one will anchor on Republica de Cuba and the other one is on the 15th side. So pretty straightforward project. We're here to answer any questions that you all may have.
All right, let's switch it around. We'll start with Mr. Cox.
City of Tampa and CRA. Okay, so I already knew the answer to that question because we've done it before. But another great benefit about this project as well is that they can stack down payment assistance with City of Tampa and also CRA dollars as well. So
correct. I would want to mention something. Very experienced working with mortgage lenders who have community reinvestment dollars to be had into the community. So I'm proud to say that we stepped on Bank of America, which I'm not the hugest fan, but they're a big bank. And we got up to $50,000 worth of down payment assistance back in the day. So I would be very aggressive on the income qualified client that may buy this to be able to assist them in getting even more down payment assistance. This thing,
Yep. I'm sorry, what was the 3 different banks?
OZK, OZK, and Bank of Tampa.
Bank of Tampa. Okay.
Are we having 2 rounds of questions?
Just
This one? Oh, okay. I think that's all I had.
And if you don't have a question, it's fine. We could just pass it, keep going around to expedite time. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess I'm just trying to figure out what the ask is, right? I'm looking at one of these pages and it's the $75,000 per unit. How many units?
16.
So what's the ask? 1.2.
1.2.
Okay, thank you.
Mimi, for the record, this is in my neighborhood, so thank you very much. I just wanted to confirm it's going to be called Ybor Heights Village. Is that the official name? Village? Okay. Yes, please. I would like that. So thank you.
It is on the plan, but from a marketing perspective. So is it named after you in addition to Ybor?
No.
These are roads. Okay. His name is spelled different.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking. Okay, yeah, okay, all right.
We just, with the redevelopment of Ropes Park, just, it's such a, we didn't want to mix. Okay,
Just wanted to make sure.
it's really Ybor Heights.
I just want to say first, thank you to B for going out and finding these opportunities, because I think this is the first project we're seeing where there's the opportunity for home ownership instead of renting. There's nothing wrong with renting, but I do love that this is home ownership to folks that are qualified within East Tampa. And I think that's really, really important for East Tampa.
One of the things that we did find under the Urban 360 program was that 89% of the clients that purchased under the Urban 360 program were derived out of East Tampa.
Wonderful.
They were somehow affiliated and lived in that area prior to becoming a homeowner. Becoming a homeowner there.
Wonderful. So I appreciate the also the taking the subsidy post sale. That's huge, and that's just kudos to you as a developer for doing that. My only question is CBA. This is a small enough ask that CBA does not come into play, correct? All right.
CBA is 5 million over.
Mr. Danielson, any comments?
Yes, thank you for your presentation, gentlemen. If we can go back to the slide of the floor plans and elevations.
Here.
Yes, I didn't see total square footage of the units. Can you
He
please
said
let us know?
14 something.
1483 on the semi-attached Mockingbird and 1288 on the single family standalone.
And these elevations on these plans are final. This is what a homeowner should expect once the home's completed.
Yeah, so we built these in, we built the Mockingbird in East Tampa over on 15th in a market rate program. And then the Avocet has been built multiple times in West Tampa.
Excellent, thank you.
Miss Winters.
Yes, I do have a question. Thank you for your presentation. Have you developed in East Tampa before for this projected AMI?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you let us know what development that was?
It was a scatter block program under the Urban 360 banner.
About 75 homes. How many homes?
Did a total of 100 in partnership with the CDC and Habitat for Humanity. Of those, we did 91.
We're going to call for a vote, but for ethical reasons, I'm going to abstain from the vote. Mr. McCarthy sits on our board at the CDC of Tampa, and I believe in transparency. So I'm abstaining from this vote for that reason, for ethical purposes. We're going to, is there a motion to accept this development for $1.2 million?
Motion to approve.
Ms. Hetland came in first. Mr. DeLosa, would you like to second?
I'll second the motion.
All right, it has been properly motioned and second. We're going to do a roll call vote. Ms. Hetland, I'm assuming that's a yes for you. Ms. Martinez, I'm assuming it's a yes. Ybor Heights, all right. So both of y'all got something for your neighborhoods tonight. Okay, all right, yes. That's
Yes.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. Miss White? No? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I've abstained. Mr. DeLiosa,
That's yes.
Miss Winters.
Yes.
All right. So we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yeses, 2 nos, 1 abstaining. The motion has passed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Parks, if you will give our presentation on the Gator Building Master Developer RFQ. I've been screaming this for 6 months now. Oh, excuse me. Toot your horn, sir.
Been looking for some action on the Gator bill.
Yes.
No, you think it's aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
How many years now?
I've been on it for 3 months, so. Due to all the technical difficulties, I'm gonna do it from right here so I can keep running everything. I'm gonna do it quick because.
We'll have silence in the chamber, please. Thank you so much.
Gotta get my own presentation together. Here. Right. Sure. Okay. We've been talking about the Gator Building for long before I've been here, so for a very long time. I realized it's a priority for the community, and one of my biggest priorities, working in East Tampa right now is the redevelopment of the Gator Building project. I'm going to go through this quickly because I shared with everyone in advance. I hope everyone had time to read through it, and then I'll go quickly, and then if you have questions, we'll go over that. Basically, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is an active presentation being given. If you will cease talking, thank you so much.
Briefly, thank you. I'm going to go over the master development partner approach. Is basically we are looking to put out an RFQ, which is the request for qualifications, for one agency or developer to take this process from feasibility studies, community engagement, thorough community engagement, designing concepts and more engagement to make sure that the community is aligned with what these concepts are based on feasibility studies and engagement, and take those final concepts and present them for your approval to move forward with a real design for the Gator Building project. And being a master developer, they then continue. We don't have to stop and do another RFP and try to find who's going to build it now. The master developer will just run with it because they are basically the full project. So I figured this would help us save time because we've already spent so much time on this process, and be consistent with one vision. So that's why we went with the RFQ for master developer strategy. So we've already got refined concepts. Basically, we all kind of have spoken about what we really want in that space. The site is assembled. We've got the space that we need. Funding capacity, I've identified, a way to start building a high capital stack to move forward with this. Of course, we'll have to find more for it, but it's a big project. It's a catalytic project, and we'll work on the full funding as we go forward. But I'm working on presenting in the next couple of months a substantial capital stack of about $15 million to start with towards this project. I'll be doing that during the budget workshop, which will be coming in the next couple of weeks or months, probably April. We've implemented a strategy now to move forward with this RFQ. So we've gone from planning to implementation now. And I think that's what the board wanted from the CAC wanted from me was an implementation strategy The vision for this so far, from what I've gathered, is a community opportunity center, a food co-op and commercial kitchen incubator, small business and makerspace hub. I should put it up here for you all. And other a community indoor space, a community outdoor space, basically community oriented. That's what we're looking for overall for the site. The structured approach will, because it's not a small renovation, it includes multi-story vertical construction, commercial grade kitchens, specialized infrastructure, complete streets integration, which will make it as well a really important project outside and inside, because it's going to merge it with the street itself and create a complete streets space. So what is the master development partner? I kind of went over that briefly. And I explained why not separate consultants, because it just takes longer and it's just multiple RFPs going out and causes more delays and duplication that we don't really need to keep dealing with right now. The RFQ is structured into clear phases. There's no automatic progression. So just because we hire this master developer doesn't mean that's it. They're building, it's going to be phased. So they have to bring us a concept first. We have to approve the concept. If we like the concept, once we realize we have the funding, we can move forward with the design and then the implementation. As long as we approve it in tiers. So no one can ramshot it through just because we hired them as a master developer. There are still guardrails where we can all have. You'll have deep control over the steps. So estimated late 2026, mid 27. We can get the feasibility studies done, the structured community engagement, the final program refinement and conceptual site planning, preliminary cost modeling, and funding strategy. So that'll get us to a total, how much do we need to get this done with a better idea, a clear concept, because we've gone through all these steps. So I'm not committed to it, but I'm hoping that by mid 2027, we'll have a little more guidance on this, or vision on this. Design and development and pre-construction. So between late 27 and mid 28, we're hoping we could refine the design, get more cost estimating and permitting coordination, get our guaranteed maximum price development, and confirm our funding. We'll always need CRE board approval to proceed. So my target start date for construction will be FY 29, which if feasibility and funding are confirmed. And it will be a construction and design build structure, so that way the one person develops it, designs it, and constructs it. There will always be public milestone briefings throughout the project, so that if the community is engaged throughout the process. And construction will always only proceed after the formal board authorization. So your involvement as a CAC throughout the project would be engagement oversight and feasibility review. So it will come to you first and you will be part of the engagement as well as the CAC board, CAC Community Advisory Committee. Design review and advisory input. So we would have your input and I guess approval before all design go through to the board for approval. So you would have thorough input throughout the whole process. Ongoing construction updates. So we'll have monthly updates if needed through me, and then as bigger updates are needed, we'll have the design team come in or construction team come in and give a bigger update to the CAC. In your recommendation role on key decision gates. So you're always going to have recommendations, and we're going to come to you for your recommendations before anything gets done. So your role remains advisory and central. It's not just a totem. We're just going to pass it and move forward with it. You'll be highly involved throughout the whole thing. I've identified, like I said, funding for phase 1 for feasibility. So we can start putting up, when we put the RFQ out, we can immediately start with feasibility studies and the engagement piece. Long-term capital strategy. I'm working on the long-term capital strategy. I'll share that during the budget workshop. There will be no construction until we have secured funding secured, and the board will retain authority at every stage based on your recommendations as well. It's kind of repetitive at this point. This RFQ does not commit to CRA to construction. I want to make that clear. does not authorize expenditure beyond phase one without further approval, does not transfer ownership or control. This will remain in our control. We will be owning this property. And what the goal is to have a nonprofit organization take it as an operator and run this facility for the community. We're not sending it to a master developer or anything, selling it to a developer. It is going to remain a community asset. And this does not guarantee advancement either. So we're not saying, okay, we're advancing straight ahead with the gear building. We're just moving the path to get the RFQ published. This, to me, this signals real progress because it establishes accountable leadership, which is you folks. It aligns the scope of the project with the funding we have in place that we've identified. It reduces procurement fragmentation, which to me is the biggest challenge in these kind of processes. Constantly having to put out the next level of procurement and stopping and starting. And it feels that way sometimes. This creates clear decision gates and it positions the project for construction if it's validated. So I gave you the anticipated timeline earlier. If things go as planned, which hopefully they will, but we always have to be ready to pivot, we can possibly start construction in FY29 if everything moves as we planned. What we're asking tonight is for the CAC to recommend to the CRA board that staff proceed with issuing the Master Development Partner RFQ for the Gator Building projects. And this recommendation will allow us to move forward to get the board to give us the okay to put out the RFQ.
Any questions for Mr. Felix about this process?
Why, I get there's a process, but why 3 more years?
Well, it's not,
We see some.
well, it takes a while to do thorough feasibility studies, which haven't been thoroughly done as part of this process. Community engagement, we don't want just a couple of meetings and that's it. We really want detailed engagement based on concepts that they provided. What are the next steps? Yeah, once the engagement has to be thorough, and once you get a couple of concepts to bring in front of you, you have to review the concepts, give your feedback on the concepts, make sure these concepts are really aligned with what the community really wants. So I projected FY29 as a start, as a hope. I don't want to say FY28 and be wrong. I don't want to set the wrong expectation, but I'm always pushing for the faster turnaround. So I wish it could start in FY28 as well. And if we move things quickly enough, the way I'm trying to, it's a possibility, but I don't want to hang my hat on that. So I wanted to give kind of a realistic timeline.
I do have a question. I asked this right back when the city, a very tall gentleman came out and we gave him all our suggestions and ideas. And the question that I asked, I think it was afterwards, once we get this whatever it turns out to be, who is going to be, who's going to manage this building or this operation?
Well, we would like to, as part of this whole process, we would like to identify a nonprofit operator to actually run this as a community investment, a community opportunity center. So it wouldn't it wouldn't be a commercial process. It wouldn't be a private ownership. It will always be community centered.
Okay.
Any other questions before we call for a vote?
Yes, Ms. Tate.
I keep beating this dead horse. And strategic action plan. Remember that cute little book? And it had the Gator building and the cute little pictures and just, I hate to keep beating that dead horse. So this, down the drain, correct? Do you all remember what I'm talking about?
You remember very well.
Okay, so what we can take, I can take that book and just tear it up and throw it.
No.
You brand new. You would know.
I did know. I studied the SAP.
So we take that. I $320,000. 300. So what we're gonna do is take it and burn it up.
No, you're absolutely correct. And I share that sentiment and frustration
Yes.
of the lack of movement.
I might need some
This
my pocketbook.
I'm gonna get me some medicine after this.
Yeah. Actually, this is the 3rd time we've been studying.
Mimi, I will say, and Ms. Tate,
because you and Ms. Headley, you've been around longer, that it has to start somewhere. And I feel as if we delay it tonight, it's going to continue to delay the process. This is the most that I've seen on the Gator building and moving forward. We've asked for an RFP, and I realize an RFQ comes first for them to find a developer that can just walk through the process and do all of it instead of going back and forward. While I'm not happy with the timeline, I do believe it's better to start now to get the can down the street than to keep waiting and going forward. Colonel, you're recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I move so to recommend that the CRA board authorize staff to issue the master development partner request for qualifications for the Gator Building project.
Second. Hold on a second. There's some unreadiness. Yes.
I do have a couple of questions.
Sure.
So,
Call for discussion.
so most recently, we had a few initial concepts that were generated in-house by the city's planning staff that kind of came up with those programmatic ideas and what that may look like on this site. Can we assume that that will be included in the RFQ?
Yes, everything that's come up from engagement in the past and design path will be shared with the developer.
Very different about this process is that it's a master developer process. Like as you pointed out, it's not breaking it out.
One person has premise.
Right. But is there enough clarity in the RFQ for that potential developer to understand where their place is in this? Because what I'm hearing is that we end up as the CRA somehow still own that land and it's developed and run by something else, but we still have some sort of memorandum of understanding or agreement on what can happen in that site. So that's a process that's much, and an ownership, that's much different than anything that we've done as part of the East Tampa CRA. So has this been done elsewhere in another CRA?
But before he answers, can I ask you a question? I'm not sure if this has ever been done, but because of your question, an addendum to your motion, if the board approves, when this process goes through procurement, on behalf of the CAC, we give you the right to review the procurement process. You asked about it. So would you be willing to review that before it goes out on behalf of the CAC?
I don't know.
Can that be done?
Cedric, can you?
That requires an amendment to the motion.
I meant that, Cedric. I'm sorry.
If one person receives something to represent the rest of us, instead of it being delayed, I was going to ask that. But I
That's a procurement. That might be a procurement thing.
The attorney in purchasing.
Okay.
We will try to be as inclusive as possible.
Okay. All right. That works.
But I can let you know, but while we've been working on the procurement, it has addressed a lot of making sure that they understand what their steps we're expecting, including the heavy engagement, what we're expecting this to be as far as the neighborhood and the communities involved in it.
Any more questions? I just want to make sure it's not delayed anymore. You have issues, instead of bringing it back here, somebody from the CAC has been empowered to review that procurement request. That's what I was saying. So he's going to check with procurement and see if that's possible. And if we're all in favor of that, that's why I asked for an amendment to that. Then we will give Ms. Helen, if she is okay with that, the right to review that on our behalf.
But to come back and report, I'm not.
Yeah. You come back and report.
Come back and share.
Yeah.
Right.
Come back and share. Just come back and share because it's still within court. Yeah. All right. It's been properly motion and second by the state. All in favor by saying aye. All opposed? Thank you. The ayes have it. We've read the East Tampa Corridor Master Plan RFP. Committee, are there any questions to this? We've read the presentation.
Did everyone read it?
Yes, start with Ms. Kim had something and then we'll go to Mimi and then we'll go in.
I do. So I'm assuming that this, I did not see a
Thank you.
to allocate to this. What kind of budget impact does this RFP have with it? And then I'm assuming it would come under professional services, which we have funding still in, but I also want to highlight that family study has been hanging out there for literally 6 or 8 years. And that's something that, just like we're doing this, it would be great to see the alley.
That could be the funding is still there for, and we're holding on to that. We were waiting for the CRP to be finally approved. I know that was the feedback I was given. So that could be the next study we undertake at the same time. Not at the same time, but like in conjunction with the master plan for the corridors. I was just hoping that you all agreed with my idea about my concept about how we should have a plan for these corridors. And I think, does everyone align with that?
My concern is that we have so many corridors and I guess I just have a hard time understanding how we can get something. A lot of these corridors are not owned by the city attorney. Like Frankston, I knew that. And then there's the county. So my concern is not your idea. The concern is how realistic are we gonna get cooperation from EXDOT and from the county to develop these corridors? And because we've had it before, Kim knows, we've had it with the Envision project for Nebraska and Hillsborough, and that went nowhere. Okay, so I'm just concerned, and we sunset in 8 years, potentially 13 years, 5 years. So this is a massive undertaking to redevelop corridors. And I know we're just, from my understanding, we're just trying to
Plan.
traffic study and just kind of see if they're ready for development. But it is very hard for me to believe that this is going to happen anytime soon. So I guess my question is, how long? I mean, this is probably going to take 20 years. I mean, we have
The plan? Oh, no, right, the corridor. And to be honest, we're not gonna get all the corridors done.
Right.
But we have to start with a plan so we know what we're gonna, as a CAC, you all determine where we're gonna start first. Let's get, what can we get done? What's gonna have the highest impact as a CAC? What can we do?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah,
Just like
realistically, yeah,
just study. It's not that now we're going to all of a sudden flip all these corridors to be something great.
but it's a plan. When you have a plan, it allows you to act.
Does this response satisfy what your inquiry was? And it is very well noted, because I think there are 8, how many?
Well, together, 8 master and 4 secondary.
It's a lot. So I think as a committee of those 8, we kind of determine where we want to start first.
Right.
And when it comes to that level of development. Any other questions before we call for the vote on this?
When you say, do you have a say, what do you mean, like,
I think they come from studies in times past of what those corridors are. I think it would be up to us where we start. These are just based on the major corridors that are already existing in East Tampa. There has been some engagement, especially during the SAP process, about those areas that want to be identified first. So these are based off of that. What goes first. Now we have to also say, even though East Tampa 7.5 miles, that's not a small area. Right. So we do have a lot of corridors. We have to address that, and we just have to look at based on traction, based on movement, as far as residential living as well as business. Where do we start first? Some of that development. We determine that, but this is just more or less a plan to say these are the areas in which we want to start.
and to develop that plan, you will need engagement moving forward. So it's not gonna.
There will be.
Yeah, there will be.
Great work. Yes, sir.
So for clarification, I mean, what criteria did we use to prioritize these primary and secondary corridors?
These came straight from the CRP.
Yeah, and I think it was traffic based. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. How did it come?
I think that there's major corridors.
Yes.
And then there's neighborhood.
Right.
Secondary is my understanding.
That's what I said, based on traffic and movement.
Yeah. There's
They're self-defined.
Yeah, okay, pretty much. Okay. I'll call for vote. I'm sorry. What's the budget line on this? Great question. I think we had oh my goodness.
Too many pages.
No, that's fine. We're going back to what line item this comes from.
I was looking to do professional services and promotional activities. We cannot do promotional activities. So we need to fix that. So we have multiple lines of available funds that we're just building up for professional services and RFPs and stuff like that. So this is a good place to apply all that money.
Estimate cost.
So I want to say 1 million.
So there's gonna have.
We have 1.2 million here in these three buckets that you
But
mentioned.
they have to be repurposed for that purpose.
Of course, but no, well, they can come from professional services. They're both professional services lines. I can have the promotional activities repurposed into professional services, and that's something I want to bring to you all during the budget workshop as well, along with all the other reprogramming.
How do you feel about that?
Totally, I'm sorry. It's a, we're estimating just $1 million to do a study, am I understanding?
Or it's not just to do a study; it's to generate a master plan. So it's gonna the
It's
plan.
long and tedious.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long and tedious expensive process. Because you gotta think about this is setting up for the next 30, 40 years.
So this helps to drive the mobility corridors, the bus routes, the street widening.
It's gonna be a major study.
Okay.
And to be honest, like we said, we won't get it all done, but we'll identify as CAC what the priority should be, what can we make the most impact and invest the most into those. And when you have a plan, it looks really good when you're trying to plan for the future.
I'm just glad
That makes
a lot of the conversations we've had over the last year or two is finally taking for you. That's I'm proud of that. Are you making a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's been motion has been made on the screen tape. There's a second.
Who seconded?
Ms. Colonel Carrington,
Carrington.
to be clear that this will be funded through the professional services, those line items and the amount of money will be repurposed as necessary from those line items. Is that correct? I'm clear on that? All in favor by saying aye. Opposed, same sound. All right, that has been passed. Now, staff report. I know there was some information provided in our packets. Is there anything in particular that Mr. Nunez or even said Director McCray need to highlight before the adjournment of this meeting?
Did you want to adjourn to highlight the meeting policy, the attendance policy?
Go ahead.
Attendance policy. I'm not going to go too deep into the word. Sorry, my hand is giving out on me. Okay. We've already talked about the RFP and the master corridor, the Gator building. We've talked about the housing projects. East Tampa wayfinding update was supposed to happen this week. We had to postpone it till the following meeting. So that'll be in our next agenda. 34th Street roundabout at Lake Avenue, that project is still being advertised. It should be closing on soon. Just if you have any outages that you know of, please refer them. Budget planning. We've begun preparing budget allocations for FY27, and I'm currently working with finance to reprogram the FY26 budget to support the ongoing redevelopment projects and new projects that we're presenting. That includes funding for the Gator building, funding for this master plan. And we'll be presenting that in the budget workshop sometime in April. So I will be advising you all in April, for our time in April, where we should be having a budget workshop. The budget workshop will be publicly noticed and conducted as a special workshop. So it'll be on top of our regular meeting that month, so you're all prepared and aware. Advisory governance update. This is something that the CAC asked for. The chair requested the attendance policy for all CAC members and a statutory resolution if members do not adhere to this policy. So I'll read it verbatim just so it's clear for the record. Per the City of Tampa Community Redevelopment Agency Community Advisory Committee Policy, Section 9 on committee membership. If an advisory committee member has more than 3 meeting absences within a 1-year period, that member's service will be automatically terminated. Additionally, if an advisory committee member knowingly violates the provisions of section number 12 or 13 of the policy, their service will be automatically terminated. I would ask to report mostly on the meeting attendance policy. So if that is clear with you, Chair, I'm done with my report.
Any questions on these minutes?
On March, new member training.
Oh yeah, that's my announcements. We don't. Any questions on the report I've given so far? Okay. The announcements. March 9th. We have. Thank you, Mr. Carrington. We have our new members, CAC Advisory Committee orientation. Everyone who is new has already confirmed, so thank you very much. We have someone who's not so new also joining us again. Is there anyone else who will be planning on attending this? I need your RSVP just so we're ready for you. There are going to be refreshments, snacks and refreshments will be served, I've heard. This is my first one too, so I don't know what to expect.
We gotta give away.
Ms. Park would like the floor for a moment if you're all agreeable to it. Dr. Jones. Take it out.
Okay. So just really quickly, I sent out an email to Mr. Nunez about a potential partnership with Habitat for Humanity. So what they would like to see is for us to nominate a street that also includes a park and has maybe a community garden aspect to it. So if we could look, last project we took place in, it was Highland Pines, which I still think Highland Pines need help as well. But I'm trying to look for another location. So that's why I'm kind of leaning on y'all if within maybe the end of this week or beginning of next week, you could kind of just say, hey, B, I'm looking at this street within, of course, East Tampa CRA, and then a community center and some type of garden aspect as well. Those were the specific asks. Email me directly so then I can get with her name's Nitsa with Habitat for Humanity. So that could be their community project. They asked to tap us in. As I mentioned, we had one in Highland Pines. We did their community center right there. We did that park right there as well. And then we did Star Street off of Highland Pines. I'm gonna look at there again, but I would like to nominate and it's other locations. It doesn't have to be east side, but I'm saying east side. It could be west side, but I just wanted to put that out there.
So it's a garden, community center, and a park.
Yes, they want an impact project. So of course, residential will be, they can do landscaping, painting. They'll get with the homeowner if they need a roof as well, because they have dollars for roofs.
Have you considered Healthy 22nd near Osborne and 22nd?
I will let them know. And then we can see around there because it's like preferably in the same area. So then they can just have all their volunteers because they'll round up their volunteers, come and do all of that.
Any questions for Ms. Pierce? Roundtable, anything from our committee members? Okay. All right. We shall call this meeting to adjournment at 8:13 p.m. Yeah. It could have been a 4-hour meeting.
I was hoping that if I gave you all up front, you all would read everything.
I was not disrupting.
Mumbled enough over there.
You too.